Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Can you hear me? Please confirm in the chat box. Thank you. Thank you very much for your responses. Thank you. Okay. Let's stop the chat so that we can focus on the training. Perfect. We have understood about GitHub. GitHub is called as a remote repository because the source code, it is a centralized location where the complete source code from all the developers are stored, isn't it? GitHub. We already have logged into GitHub. I hope you have already successfully created a GitHub account. We already have created a GitHub repository, and we have failed to upload the code into GitHub repository because of some browser issues. Now it has been solved. Now I'll show you how can we upload the code from the local repository. The developer moves the files from the local to from the staging area to untracked section to staging area. From the staging area, he moves it into the local repository, and from then there's one more step. He needs to push the code into the remote repository. The remote repository is GitHub. Yesterday we have failed. How can we have failed to upload the code into GitHub repository. Now I'll show you how can we upload the code into report repository. So that's first part. Next we are moving on to the next tool of DevOps that is called as Maven. Maven is a build tool. So what is Maven? Once the source code is uploaded into GitHub repository, what is generally the next step? Once the code is uploaded into GitHub repository, what is generally the next step? So that's called Maven, where we build artifacts. So they will be jumping on to the next tool that is called as Maven. This is our plan for our today's session. So before moving on, let's have a discussion with Maheshwara. Hi Maheshwara. Good evening. How are you doing?
Yeah, yesterday I think, since I also tried that, I registered into GitHub. I was trying to, same thing, it was, I logged in there. Actually, I was trying to push the code from the local
Local
repository
repository
to
to
the,
GitHub repository. So when you're trying
and
to push the code, I think the Mozilla browser is getting opened. Agree?
I think another browser is open, but it is sending some links actually. In the email, in my mail, a couple of things came actually,
You
two
need to
links came.
authorize. You need to authorize. Okay. Without
Oh,
uploading. I'll show
right.
you now how can we upload the code. And please use Google Chrome. The default
Yeah,
browser should be Google Chrome. Okay.
okay.
The default apps. Please make sure that in your personal laptop. Okay.
If no Google Chrome is there, Microsoft Edge is there, will it work?
No, make sure that Microsoft Edge will also support. Mozilla does not support. Make sure the web browser, the default top app of the web browser should be Google Chrome. Okay. So please make sure that.
Okay.
Okay. We'll see it soon, Maheshwara. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Wakar. Good evening.
Good evening. Hello.
Can you hear me, Wakar?
Yeah. So, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Yes, please tell me
Sir,
your question.
I have a dot in Git. Sir,
Your
like,
voice is not clear.
hello. Yeah, I'm audible.
Yes, please.
Yeah, sir, I have a dot in Git. And suppose I have a file master, right? And
You have a
parallelly, I have a file master. Sorry, I have a
master is
branch.
the branch.
Branch, yeah. And I have branch test branch, right? And there is a file in master branch. So, do you have any command to take that file in?
You can do that. There are a lot of commands, Wakar. Okay. We don't need to worry about this. To an extent, what is required for DevOps unit, we'll be learning because we are not the people who will be moving the source code from one branch to other branch, isn't it, Wakar?
Yes, yes.
So that's not at all a problem. There are
Yeah,
close to
but
five.
there is
There are
option.
close to 500 commands in Git. Okay, you don't need to worry about that. Okay. Yes, there is an option. Okay. Gayatri. Good evening. How are you doing?
Yes. Hello. Hi, Sunil. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are very clear. Please tell me your question.
Yes, Sunil. GitHub is like an online storage for Git
Exactly.
repositories, right?
It's online storage for local repositories. Okay. Where the
Okay.
source code is saved. You're right.
Yes,
Okay.
and when another question. And when we move the commit IDs from local repositories to central repository,
Central repository is nothing but the remote repository.
yes, if we want to move back from central
Yeah, we have a
repository to
to
local
local
repository
repository. We can
for
do
any
that by using
change.
git pull command. Okay. We
Okay,
have push command. What command we are using, Gayatri? Yesterday, I hope you have seen. We have used a push
it's
command
push command.
to
Yes.
upload the code from the local repository to the remote repository. So the same way, we have a pull command. By using git pull command, we can download the code from the remote repository to the local repository. That's not a problem. Okay.
Excellent. Okay, another question. I'm also in a AWS batch, and yesterday I was trying to create a NACL, and unfortunately, I have deleted this default one.
Talk to AWS customer care to restore the default VPCs and default subnets and all those. Okay.
Okay, okay,
Send an
Sunil.
email to AWS customer care.
Okay, do you have any email ID?
Yeah, once you log into AWS, there's a support option there on top of your once you log in. So immediately you can send a request.
Okay, Sunil. Thank you.
Okay, Gayatri, thank you. Let's move on. Somewhere in F drive, I'm creating a folder. Folder name can be anything. Let's say I'm creating a folder with the name project. And let's assume, as we already assume, always assume that I'm a Java developer. I'm developing some files. Source code, let's say line 1, line 2, whatever it is. Done. Okay, once the code development is done, so what the developer will do, he converts the folder into working directory. By default, every file is considered as an untracked file. You know that. Git add dot will move the files to staging area. Git commit moving into local repository by using a commit. That's fine. Next. This is developer's mission, and this is the local repository. Now the developer needs to upload the code into the remote repository. Let's first create the remote repository first. If you have not created a GitHub account, please go ahead and create a GitHub account. I already have a GitHub account. Yep. I create a repository. Here we have an option of creating a new repository. Here we have an option of creating a new repository. Here also we can go ahead and create a new repository, whichever you feel comfortable. Okay. So what is the repository name you're planning to create? It can be any name. So I'm creating a repository with the name, let's say REP4. I hope it is available. Yes, repository is available. Create the repository. The repository has been created, and we have a commands to upload the code into the remote repository. The name of the repository is REP4. You know that. Take the commands which help you to upload the code into the remote repository. You don't need to do this. Git remote add, which will link the local repository to the remote repository. Git push of a new origin. Mention the branch here. We have to mention it as a master, so which will upload the code into the remote repository. So let's do that first. I am linking to the remote repository, that is REP4. Linking is done now. Yesterday this was giving us a problem. The moment I am using a push command, the Mozilla browser was opening, and we got a message that this browser does not support Git operations. So now I have made my default browser as Google Chrome. This will upload the code. Yes, the code has been uploaded into the remote repository. And what is the remote repository? This is the remote repository, isn't it? Just click on refresh the remote repository. You can also see the files which has been uploaded into the remote repository. Clear about this? Perfect. So like this, you can upload the code into the remote repository. You have to upload the code into the remote repository. Okay. Clear about this? Perfect. Anuj, sorry, Manasa. Your question, please. Okay, no question. I can see your hand raised, Manasa. By default, you'll be on mute. You have to unmute and talk. Shanmukh, good evening.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
How are you doing?
Yes, sir. Good.
Clear about how exactly developer will upload the code from the local repository to the remote repository?
Sir. But actually, my doubt is, what are the observations when you connect it into the remote repository?
What are the observations?
What are the observations when we connect the system into
When we
remote
connect the
repository?
local repository to the remote repository. Is that your question?
Sir.
What are the observations when we connect the local repository to the remote repository? I think, Shanmukh, this is the command, am I right? Git remote add is a command which is helping you to link the local repository to the remote repository, isn't it?
Okay.
Yes, there is no observations. The remote repository gets links. Immediately next command, what you need to use git push command, which will help you to upload the code into the remote repository. That's it. You don't find any observations in the terminal. Okay? Okay. Hi, Manasa.
So our GitHub and GitLab both are same.
Both
Can
are
we
different.
use?
Okay, GitHub is different, Bitbucket is different, GitLab is bucket. There are different remote repositories, out of which, Manasa, we are going with a popular one that is called as GitHub. Okay, you have similar commands in other remote repositories also. You can go through the document and upload the code into the other repositories. Okay, perfect. Yes. Okay, now let's try to understand. As we know, for a particular project, it's not one developer. There will be a group of developers working on a particular project. So this is developer 1 machine, this is developer 2 laptop, and this is developer 3 laptop. There are n number of developers. Every developer develops the code as per their requirement, and every developer will upload the code into the remote repository. So once the complete developmental activity is completed, the entire project source code will be available in one centralized repository that is called as a GitHub repository. Once the complete development phase is completed, the development has been completed, what will be the next step? Can you guess? Ashwata. I can see your hand raised, Ashwata.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Ashwant.
Yeah, Ashwant. Yeah.
Clear
Okay.
about how do the developers upload the code into the GitHub repository, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Usually is the question for the previous topic, and you were answered both GitHub and Bitbucket.
Both are different. There are multiple repositories.
Yeah.
So popular one we are looking at GitHub, but rest of the repositories concept is the same. There will be few syntactical differences. That's all.
Okay.
The user interface changes. That's it.
Okay. In the real time, the developers won't push or pull the code using the terminals, right? They use the UI to just.
There are two ways. Ashwant. One is the GUI. We have Git GUI. using the graphical user interface. They don't write the commands. They use the GUI button. By click of a button, the code gets uploaded. But practically speaking, when a button is pressed, in fact, it generates this particular
Yes.
command that and this command gets executed. And it's good to know the commands. Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Okay.
Yeah. And here, now you're explaining the concept of multiple developers pushing code
The
to
code
the
into
GitHub.
the GitHub repository.
Okay.
Yes. Perfect.
And you'll be also explaining us these conflicts and all those things also.
We'll see it soon. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. No questions. From us.
Okay, perfect. Ashwath, what could be the next step? Once, let's say, the complete entire code is available in the GitHub repository, can you guess what will be the next step of action?
Yeah. Basically, if you have an automatic environment, you should collect code from all the developers. You need to compile and you need to generate an artifact, and that
Perfect.
should be usable to
Perfect.
execute the.
Exactly. So, Ashwant, once the coding has been completed, okay, once the coding has been completed, no client wants the source code. Agree, isn't it, Ashwant?
Yes.
So if you take the source code and give the source code as a hard let's say in a hard disk to the client, they don't want that. They want an application which is up and running, which is meeting the client requirement, isn't it, Ashwant?
Yes.
So what is the next plan of action as per build and release cycle is the complete source code should be packaged and then the artifact needs to be generated. And this is possible by using the build tools. So what is the purpose of the build tool? The build tool responsibility. Now coming to the concept of build tool. So we are learning build tool with respect to a tool. There are a lot of build tools available. Now our discussion is with respect to one popular build tool called as Maven, Ashwant. So Maven, now what we are doing is now we are understanding the concept of Maven. So if anybody asks you what is Maven, your answer should be Maven is a build tool. So what the build tool will do? Pretty simple. Build tool will take the source code as input. The build tool will take the source code as an input and then gives us the packages the source code and gives us the artifacts. That's the purpose of the build tool. That's why they are called as a build tool. The responsibility of the build tool is package the source code and generate the artifact. And Ashwant, once the artifact is ready, can you guess what will be the next step?
You need to update the environment if you have.
We have to deploy the artifact, isn't it, into the application servers like WebLogic or WebSphere so that the application will be live. Agree, isn't it, Ashwant?
Yes.
So that's the next step. Now we have the code ready available in the GitHub repository. We should also experience how exactly the source code should be packaged and then the artifact will be generated. So let's experience that part. Okay. Thank you, Ashwant, for your time. Let's move on to the next tool. We have understood how exactly Git manages source code. Let's move on. So next tool called as Maven. If anybody asks you what is Maven, what should be your best answer? Your best answer is Maven is a build tool. If anybody asks you what is Maven, your answer should be Maven is a build tool. So what is the responsibility of the build tool? What exactly build tool will do? Build tool will generate the artifact. Build tool will generate the artifact. As I have just discussed, no client needs a source code. Nobody needs a source code. We want an application which is up and running. So what we have to do, we have to package the source code and generate a artifact, and that is possible using the tool called using build tool. Okay, so there are a lot of build tools available in the market. Maven is a build tool specific to Java technology. So if a code is Java code, then you have to use Maven. If it is a .NET code, then we have MS Build. Microsoft Build is the name of the build tool. Okay, so if the code is Python, we have, I think, PyBuild. So the build tool, what needs to be used changes from technology to technology. We are understanding the cycle. As a DevOps engineer, we should always learn from generic, not specific to one technology. As a DevOps engineer, we have to learn the concepts not specific to one particular technology, because as a DevOps engineer, you'll be handling multiple clients and multiple technologies. Client 1 may use Java technology, client 2 may use .NET, client 3 may use Python, but the concept of build and release is always generic. So we are learning build tool with respect to the tool called, we are learning how exactly we can package a source code with respect to build tool called Maven. Okay, so if anybody asks you Maven, if anybody asks you what is Maven, you have the answer. Maven is a build tool. Okay, now what is an artifact? What is an artifact? As I just explained about the concept of an artifact, artifact is a result of packaging the source code. As I just now explained, nobody wants the source code, especially client does not need the source code. They want an application which is hosted on the servers, and that can be done by using the artifact. Artifact is a result of packaging the source code, so that the artifact is generated, then we deploy the artifact into the server. So packaging the source code gives an artifact. Artifact is the final product. Clear? Perfect. Okay. Now let's have a quick discussion. So let's have a quick understanding about Maven. So you know Maven is a builder tool. So there's something more we should understand about Maven. I want to have a discussion about vulnerability. What is vulnerability? What is the scope of vulnerability with respect to the build tool? We should also discuss about Maven. We should be comfortable about the terminologies called Maven Global Server. We should also be comfortable with the terminologies called Maven Local Repository. And then let's also learn how can we install Maven on the local machine. So this is our plan for our today's session. So let's move on. Balakrishna.
Yes, sir.
Yes, your question, please.
Sir, you showed yesterday I missed the class, central repository. Central repository is nothing but we'll push the code from whatever code we push from the local repository to the central central repository. Means what is the use of that central repository, sir?
Did you go through the recording of the previous session?
No, sir.
Please go through that. Central repository is a common location where the complete source code of the entire project will be available. Balakrishna, let's say 10 developers. Okay, each developer is creating 10 files. So total, how many files related to source code?
10, sir.
100 files. Agree?
Yes, sir.
So central repository is a location where all the 100 file, the entire project source code is available. Okay, so please go through the recording.
Okay.
Thank you. Sendil, good evening. How are you doing?
Hey, Cyril. Good morning. Good evening. He just had a question.
I think good morning for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're from
it's
US?
morning. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, question, please.
I was just having a quick question. You talked about remote repository. Is this the place where you do peer review happens, or is that
Sorry?
happens before peer review of the code?
Not here. Okay. First, if you want to review the code, first the application should be hosted on the dev instance, and then the review happens. Okay. So you have to wait. Sendil. Okay. Am I clear, Sendil? Lost your voice. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Arvind.
Yeah, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Yeah, thank you.
So I just have a quick question. Like, generally, when we complete the development phase, after that, there will be testing phase, right?
Yes, you are right.
So the step which we are discussing, like building this thing, actually means that after testing, right?
No. This is before testing. Okay, you have to wait. Whether if you want to test, agree?
Okay.
First, the artifact needs to be available. Then we move it into the test instance. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to wait. So this is not moving to production, Arvind. Okay.
Okay.
So when I say now, look at this. Now, as of now, our context is Arvind, our
Building.
context is building the artifact.
Yeah.
So that is to be done. Agree?
Okay.
Once the artifact is ready, then we deploy into the testing environment where the testers will jump into action and test whether the application is perfectly running or not. That's the next part. Okay. So to this
Okay.
extent, now let's learn let's experience how exactly build tools are used to generate the artifact. Agree?
So, one more thing, like in this artifact, it will be the collection of bytecodes, right? Like compiled codes.
Exactly. You're right. You're right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Can you give me an example of an artifact?
Artifact. No.
If it is a Java technology, it is a
It's dot class file.
that is specific to one dot class is specific to one file. Okay. If it is packaging the source code file, if it's generally a jar file, if it is Java technology, it can be a var file. If it is a .NET technology, it is MSI file, Microsoft installer file. So the artifact extension changes from technology to technology. Okay, depending upon the build tool what you're using. Got it? Clear, Arvind? Okay. So
yes.
So I want to continue a discussion with you, Arvind. Is that fine?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So now we have some information about what is Maven. Maven is a build tool. It generates an artifact. Artifact is the final product after packaging the source code, and this artifact should be deployed into the server so that the application is up and running. That's fine. Let's move on understanding few more terminologies. What is vulnerability? What is Maven global server? And what is Maven local repository? So I want to have some discussion regarding this, understanding these terminologies. Please look at this. Let's say developers. Okay. Okay. Arvind, developers develop the code. Okay.
Yeah.
Once the code development is completed, they upload the code into the
remote repository.
Okay. Now, as part of the developmental activity, developers uses some APIs to satisfy the client requirements. Developer will use some APIs. So let's try to understand what do you mean by APIs. Okay. I want to explain you an important terminology called API. So what is APIs? And as part of the developmental activity, developers will use APIs. Let's try to understand what do you mean by APIs. Okay. Arvind, this is a small software company located at Hyderabad. It is abstract.biz. Okay. So they are into product development. They develop products related to Oracle technology. Okay. Now let's say web developer is developing this particular application. Okay. So he has developed about us page, web, what we do, products, fine, as per the right code. Please look at the contact us page. Generally in the contact us page, you find the address location of the organization, isn't it?
Yes.
As expected, you can see US address, India address, and different addresses here. Scroll down. The client wants a Google map here in the contact us page. Okay.
Okay.
So client wants in the contact us page address locations as well as a Google map so that the visitor can look at the Google map and they have an idea they can use it easily. Okay. Now, do you think this map is developed by the web designer? No.
No, they're just getting that.
So that website developer will drop a pin in the Google map. Okay. And then Google map will give us some API code. That API code will be integrated into this particular contact as HTML so that that map will be visible here. Agree or not? So API is a piece of code. It's a predefined piece of code which will help in achieving a specific functionality. Clear? Clear, Arvind? Clear about the concept of API? I'll give you one more example. Let's say, for example, whenever we are performing a shopping, we pick up a particular product. We select a particular product. Let's say I'm selecting a particular product. And I buy now. When I buy now, I want to use now if I use Arvind, if I use my UPI ID, okay?
Okay.
If I might use my UPI ID, when I click on verify, okay? When I click on verify, the API code gets triggered. A code gets triggered, and I get a notification in my Paytm so that I can proceed with payment. Agree or not? So that means when this is a web, obviously this page is created by the web developer, but the point is when an end user clicks on verify, there is a code that gets triggered. Okay? That code is not created by the developer. That's an API code provided by UPI. Agree?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So API is nothing but a piece of code provided by some third-party company. Okay, those piece of code will be used by the developers to accomplish the client requirement. Clear about the concept of API? Arvind?
Yes, sir.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the point out I want to tell you is developer, as part of the developmental activity, they develop the source code. No doubt, they develop the source code. Along with the source code, they also use some APIs provided by third-party companies, and then they complete the developmental activity, and then they upload the code into the remote repository. When the developer uploads the code into the remote repository, the code created by the developer no doubt gets uploaded into the remote repository, as well as the API code will also be uploaded into the remote repository.
Yeah.
Fine. No doubt, because developer is calling the APIs, the API code also gets uploaded into the remote repository. Now, point is, there is a vulnerability. What do you mean by vulnerability? Let's try to understand the dictionary meaning of the term vulnerability. Vulnerability is nothing but a risk. Risk or a threat involved is called as vulnerability. The state of being exposed or state of being attacked. Okay, so there is vulnerability is nothing but a threat. Okay.
Yep.
So what is the concept of, what is the scope of vulnerability? The scope of vulnerability is developer created code, no doubt that gets uploaded in the remote repository. As you know, the third party, the API code created by the third party, provided by the third party organization also gets uploaded into the remote repository. What is the guarantee that the code provided by the third party company, the API code that is provided by the third party company is free from virus? There may be threat involved in it that may come to damage the entire source code. That means the entire source code will be lost. Are you understanding, Arvind? The risk involved, the risk involved in uploading the code into the remote, which code? The API related code. The risk involved in using the API code and uploading the code into the remote repository. What is the guarantee? It is free from virus or free from threat. It may be a harmful code. It may damage the entire code. There are some risk involved in it. At the same time, you cannot ask the developers not to use APIs, because that cannot be achieved without using the APIs. Requirements cannot be achieved without using the APIs. So you cannot stop the developers not to use API. Practically, without APIs, it is very difficult to achieve the functionality. At the same time, there's a risk involved in this particular approach. So Maven provides a solution for this case. What Maven provides a solution here is, Maven maintains Maven global server. Maven maintains Maven global server. What is Maven global server? Maven global server is nothing but the site search.maven.org. Maven global server is nothing but the site called search.maven.org. The Maven community is maintaining this search.maven.org. I'll show you this Maven global server. Maven global server is nothing but search.maven.org. This particular Maven this is also called as Maven Global Server. This is maintained by Maven community. So Maven Global Server will contains all the thousands and millions of APIs provided by third-party company. Maven community is maintaining all the APIs provided by third-party company. So all the APIs which are required by the developer is generally available in Maven Global Server. Clear, Arvind? Now, developer as part of the developmental activity, he needs 3 APIs. Okay, let's say he wants one API related to Google Map. He wants one API related to Google Map. He wants one API related to MySQL connectivity. He wants one API related to Android app. Are you understanding? So he needs some set of APIs. Now, what the developer needs to do is developer should search for the required APIs in this trusted server called as Maven Global Server. Developers should look for the APIs available in the Maven Global Server. Once he identifies the right API, then what he needs to developer should download the APIs. Developer should download the required APIs from the Maven Global Server to Maven local repository. Developer, whenever they need an API, what the developer needs to do to avoid the risk, to avoid the vulnerability, to avoid the threat. Okay, so what the developer needs to do is developer should search for the required APIs, all the popular APIs provided by the famous third-party companies. There are millions of APIs available in the Maven Global Server. Maven Global Server is nothing but the site search.maven.org. So developers are instructed to search for the required APIs in Maven Global Server. Once he identifies the right API in the Maven Global Server, developer needs to download these APIs from Maven Global Server to Maven local repository. Maven local repository is nothing special. Maven local repository is nothing but a particular folder in the developer's laptop. It's nothing special. It's Maven local repository is nothing but a folder in the developer laptop. So developer needs to download the APIs from the Maven Global Server to Maven local repository. Once the required APIs are available in the Maven local repository, developer, when they are developing the particular code, they use integrated development environments like Eclipse or some other tools, more IDE tools. So using those tools, they connect to Maven local repository, complete the developmental call the APIs, complete the developmental activity. Once the developmental activity is completed, then they upload the code into the remote repository. When they upload the code into the remote repository, the code created by the developer, no doubt it gets uploaded into the remote repository. The API code also gets uploaded into the remote repository in the read-only format. Arvind, in the read-only format. That means it has no scope to perform write operations. It cannot damage the other code unless the API. So those are uploaded in the read-only format. This is how developers follow the process of Maven Global Server, Maven local repository, and upload the code into remote repository so that the code is free from vulnerability. Clear? Clear the concept. This is the solution provided by Maven. Like this, to avoid the vulnerability issues, every build tool provides their own specific solution. So I am explaining you solution, taking an example of a build tool called Maven. Clear, Arvind? Clear about Maven Global Server, Maven local repository. Anyways, we'll see practically how to download. I'll show you practically how developers will download the code from Maven Global Server to Maven local repository, and all this we'll see it soon. Thank you, Arvind, for your time.
No problem.
Kumar Raja. You are allowed. Yes, Kumar.
Hi, Sunil.
Am I clear about the importance of Maven Global Server, Maven local repository? What exactly is the issues with respect to vulnerability, and how exactly Maven helps to resolve the issues of vulnerability using this process?
Yes.
Perfect. Yes, your question.
My question is regarding the GitHub repository. As I can see that I can directly upload the files into the GitHub. So then why to use this process? Is there any?
You can directly upload the code into GitHub. Let's say there are a lot of files. How do you upload it? It's very difficult to upload it individually, isn't it? Rather than when you write a git push command, you can easily upload the code into the GitHub repository. Not only just uploading the code into the GitHub repository. Have you seen the code that is uploaded? Once the code is uploaded, you can also see the commit IDs which you have used, Kumar.
Yes.
Okay. So that means you're able to track which files are related to which particular commit.
Yeah.
So all those flexibilities you don't have when you upload the code from the graphical user interface by using a upload button, isn't it, Kumar?
Okay.
So this is the right approach of moving the code from the local repository, so that you can also see what files are related to which particular commit and when the files has been uploaded and all those. Okay.
Okay.
Am I clear?
Yeah, and suppose I want to pull those files like
We'll see
that
soon how to pull.
Yeah, means I'm talking about the files that I uploaded via GUI, and
whether the files has been uploaded by the GUI or the files has been uploaded from the local repository. Once you have the repository URL, okay, so that is. Do you remember the name of the repository which I have created? Today's session is REP4.
REP4, yes.
This is a repository. Every repository will have a repository URL. Okay.
Okay.
This is the repository URL.
Okay.
Every repository will have a unique link that's called as a repository URL. So we have a command called git clone. We have a command called git clone. We have a command called git pull. So when you use this git clone command, it gets downloaded. Let's say, for example, anywhere you can download it. Let's say I want to download it in my E drive. Okay. I'm creating a new folder. Folder name can be anything, isn't it? So I'm creating a folder called the same. Sample, and I am opening a git bash, and then what's the response you're getting? Cloning the repository. Where I have cloned it in the, what's the name of the folder?
Sample.
So now you go to sample folder. Can you see the repository folder downloaded, and are you able to see the files?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where you can download it. That's not a problem. It's pretty simple. But the point is, whether you're uploading it from the GUI or you're doing it from the user from the front end, you can use git clone to clone it. Okay, clear?
Yeah.
Kumar?
Clear.
Okay.
Yes.
More than that, clear about exactly what is the need for the build tool, and what is the scope of vulnerability, and how exactly Maven provides a solution for this particular vulnerability issues.
Yes.
I have one more question, Kumar.
Yeah.
What the Maven will do?
It will build an artifact from the source code. Yeah, artifact.
It's an artifact file.
Yes.
It is whose responsibility to generate the artifact? Do you think as a DevOps engineer you are responsible for building an artifact, or do you think it is development team responsibility to build an artifact?
It's a developer's responsibility.
You are right. It's not at all a DevOps engineer responsibility to build an artifact. Artifact building is specific to technology. Once if it is Java developers, they learn the corresponding Java build tool called Maven for building an artifact. If it is .NET developers, they also learn corresponding build tool called MS build. If it is Python developers, I think there's a PyBuild. So it's purely developers' responsibility to build an artifact. Okay, so once the code development is completed, they invoke that particular corresponding build tool so that the artifact is generated. But it's not our duty, but we have to know this. Kumar? Because once we know this, then we'll also integrate how exactly Git and Maven, and then we pull that particular artifact and deploy it using automation tools called Jenkins. So this knowledge is important for us. Kumar.
Yeah.
Maheshwara Kumar.
Hi, Sunil. Yeah, means I tried with that actually. I think it's working with the Google part actually. So yes. and this for example, what I was trying to ask is like we have downloaded the GitHub, Git, right? Git Bash. Similarly, can we? It is Maven. We can download actually, and we can use it.
You want to install Maven, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
I'll show
Is
you.
it
We'll
possible?
see it practically, Maheshwara. Now.
Right.
So now let's have a quick discussion. Look at the theory. Vulnerability. We should be familiar. We have understood the concept of vulnerability. Maven global server, Maven local repository. Please look at this. Maven is a product of Apache. Okay. All the open source communities like Jenkins, Tomcat, MySQL, all the popular products upload their code related to API in the Maven global server. Maven global server is nothing but the site search.maven.org. As I have mentioned, this is Maven. Sorry, this is Maven global server. Developers connect to Maven global server. As I mentioned, developers connect to Maven global server, download the APIs necessary for the project development and store them in. Find that they want whatever the APIs they are required. The download these APIs into Maven local repository. Developers connect to Maven local repository and complete the developmental activity and upload the code into the remote repository. In this way, the code is uploaded into the repository, and if you use these APIs from the trusted source called Maven global server, you can overcome the problem of vulnerability. This will protect. This way of using the APIs will help protecting the code from any threat viruses that might be present in APIs. Next point, Maven is a builder tool where we can compile the programs and package the programs and then create a artifact. So we have discussed about, we have now know the importance of Maven. I want to practically show you how exactly the artifact is built using Maven. So I want to show you how can we install Maven in our personal laptops. I also recommend you to install Maven on the personal laptops. Follow the steps what I've shown you now, and then we'll also experience the process of building an artifact. The prerequisite, if you want to install Maven, the prerequisite is that you have to have JDK1. JDK stands for Java Development Kit 1.8 or above needs to be downloaded. Okay, so how to download it? So open Google. Sorry. JDK 1.8 or above, anything is fine. My laptop is Windows operating system, so which is 64-bit. Yes, this is the link which helps you to download the JDK 1.8 of size 169 MB. Okay, so I already have downloaded. I'll show you. Look at this. This is the file, isn't it? I already have downloaded. JDK-8U301. It's 291. That's a pretty old one. It's 301. Okay, that's fine. I'll download it. If you want to download, you need to have an Oracle account. So I'm logging into my Oracle account. Yes. So please follow this process. I'm downloading JDK 1.8. Just takes less than a minute for the JDK to get downloaded. If you're not having an Oracle account, go ahead and create an Oracle account and download this JDK 1.8. It's an exe file, so obviously once it is downloaded, we install it. Isn't it? Done? It's ready. This is the exe file which I just now downloaded. Install it. allow. Just click on next. Next. We are not installing Maven. The prerequisite for Maven is JDK. So we are installing JDK now. Meanwhile, let's have a questionnaire. Anuj Singh. Good evening.
Hey Sunil, I was just asking that can we have a list of the build tools? Maven is an example, so we are considering Maven in this class. But
Popularly, there are three technologies, Anuj, as of now: Java, .NET, and Python, where the products are built, isn't it? So for Java, it is Maven. For .NET, it is MS Build. For Python, it is PyBuild. Okay.
Okay, because I belong to an infrastructure team, so I would like to get
To
into
know that. You
that
have
too.
to know that. Okay.
Which tool I need to study? For me, Python is more relevant. So the one request is that in the
PyBuild is
notepad
a
file, in the notepad file which you upload, mention that okay, this is a Maven and there are other tools, so we can study it later with our own reference.
perfect. Okay, Anu, I think you're also there in morning 6:30, Anuj?
No.
Okay. So Anuj,
I will be joining the AWS batch from 10th.
oh, you got the note information already.
Yes.
Okay, how did
In
you
fact,
get that?
I requested the old video so that I will be a bit prepared and
Yeah,
so
you're
that
welcome.
having a less questions, because if you watch the previous video classes,
Yeah, you can have some
you will be
hands-on.
heads on, and you will be having less questions by that time.
Okay, so how do you got the information? Is it through Telegram group?
No, there are a lot many people who are fan of yours.
Thank you, Anuj.
Thank
you. Yes.
You have very perfect teaching skills, sir.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Anuj. I will do my best to keep up to your expectations.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
The only thing is that keep listing whenever we are studying one point as a reference. In the bracket, you mentioned that these are the adult tools. So
Most
that
of the
the
time,
relevance
I'll document it, no doubt on it. Okay. So I'm also considering your.
So we'll be having less questions. Thank you. Please continue.
Thank you. Let's wait. It's taking a long time. It generally does not take this much time. In fact, I already have installed JDK 1.8. Okay, so I'll show you where exactly it is installed in my previous batch. Oh, destination folder. Okay, fine. Next. It just takes approximately 2 minutes for the JDK to be installed. Once the JDK is installed, you need to take a note where exactly it is installed. Generally, it will be installed in program files Java, and you get a folder that gets. Let's take a note of it. I think we are done. So this is somewhere not responding. Okay, let's minimize it. JDK is installed. I just want to confirm it. See, I'll show you. See program files. JDK has been successfully installed. Good. Close it. Where it gets installed? It gets installed in program files under Java. So I have done it many times. So you can look at this today's date. JRE is one folder, JDK is one folder. So you need to look at JDK. This is the location where the JDK has been installed. Okay, perfect. So just take a note of the location where the JDK installed. Okay, and then you need to create a environment variable. You need to create an environment variable. I'll show you how to create an environment variable. That's nothing special. The environment variable should be Java_home, and the environment variable should point out to the location where the JDK is installed. This is the location where JDK is installed. You know that we have taken a note of it. That's the reason. And I will point out to that particular location where the JDK is installed. Please follow this in your personal laptop for today's session. Install JDK on your personal laptop. So let's do that. How to create environment variables. This PC properties, advanced system settings. Environment variables. System variables, the variable name should be Java_home. That the Java_home should point out to the location where the JDK is installed. This is the location where the JDK is installed. Okay. So this is JDK part. We have not started Maven. This is a prerequisite. Quick recap: we have downloaded JDK, we have installed JDK, we have identified where exactly the folder got created, and we are picking up that point, and that pointing we are mapping that to Java_home and environment variable. This is first part. Next, and there's one more variable called path variable. Java_home is a new variable you have to create. I already have it, so I am just editing that variable, but in your case you need to create a new variable. That variable should be Java_home and should point out to the location. Next, there will be a predefined variable called path. There's a predefined variable called path. That path variable will have multiple paths. Okay, see, it's not one path, it is having multiple paths. Okay, so that path variable, go to path variable. That path variable should point out to bin directory. There's a bin directory in JDK. So your path should point out to bin directory. Remember that. I'm very clear. Okay. So I go to path variable. This is the path variable, and then I am pointing out to the bin directory. So I can replace this, pointing out to bin directory. Fine. Okay. This is JDK part. Next, actual tool, Maven. So search in Google. Download Maven. Maven.apache.org. Scroll down. Download this zip file. Bin.zip. Binary.zip file. Bin.zip file, you have to download it. So I'm downloading it. I already have it. So you can see Apache Maven 3.8.1 bin.zip. I already have it. So I'm not downloading it again. I'm showing you where exactly I have that. Apache Maven -3.81 bin.zip. It's a zip file. I have downloaded. Download that zip file. I already have downloaded. If it is an exe file, you execute it. If it is zip file, obviously we extract it. When you extract it, a folder gets created with the same name, isn't it? Can you see? When you extract it, a folder gets created with the same name. Okay, so extract it, the folder gets created. So this is the folder 3.8.1. Okay, so this is the location where you have extracted the folder. Take a note of the location. And then this is the location where you have extracted it. Okay. And then you have to create a new environment variable m2 underscore home. That environment variable should point out to the folder which you have extracted. Perfect. Let's do that. So you already know how to create environment variable. So advanced system settings, again create environment variable. The name of the environment variable should be empty underscore home, and that environment variable should point out to the location where you have extracted. This is the location where you have extracted. I think it is the same location. Okay, next. And as like previously, there's a path variable, and path variable should point out to bin directory. In this particular folder, there's a bin directory. Your path should point out to bin directory. Always path should point out to the bin directory. So this is the configurations you need to do it. There's a predefined variable called path variable. Path variable should have multiple paths. Yes, and then it should point out to the path which you have just extracted. Okay. Where is it? So this is the configurations you need to do it. Once you have done all these configurations, if you want to confirm whether Maven is successfully configured or not, very simple, open the command prompt, and the command to check whether the Maven is successfully configured or not, we have a command called mvn-version is a command to check whether Maven is successfully configured. If you're getting a result, that means Maven is successfully configured, Maven 3.8.1. Perfect. Clear about this? So we know what is Maven. So what's our agenda for today's session? Did we meet our agenda for today's session? We have understood what is Maven. You know the answer. Maven is a build tool which is used for building an artifact. Artifact is a final result upon packaging the source code. So Maven helps in generating the artifact. When developer uses an APIs, there is a risk involved in it when they upload the code into the GitHub repository. This Maven provides a solution. Maven community is maintaining all the APIs in Maven global server. Developers looks for those APIs, download the required APIs into Maven local repository, connect it to Maven local repository, complete the developmental activity, and upload the code into the GitHub repository. That's how vulnerability can be issued. And we also, vulnerability can be resolved. And we also have learned the steps to install Maven in our local machine. We also have learned steps to install Maven in our local machine. So what's our agenda for today's session? As Maven is up and running in our local machine, tomorrow's plan is to experience how artifact is built. And we all know that it's not the DevOps engineer to build the artifact, but you have to know this concept of vulnerability, risk involved, and then Maven global. You have to know the build and release cycle specific to at least one tool which is part of build and release cycle. You should have an exposure. Even though you don't do that, you should have an exposure. Our actual responsibility starts with the next tool called as Jenkins. Once the artifact is ready, what do you do with the artifact? That will be much more interesting. So that's our plan for our tomorrow session, is to experience how exactly we'll build an artifact. So before ending, let's have a quick discussion, this time with Likita Dama.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Likita. How are you doing?
Good, sir. Sir, your notes and all, when it will be available for us, sir?
Now session is completing at 5:30, right? Probably by 8 o'clock, I think the recording will be available. If not, by 9 o'clock PM, our team will upload it.
Okay.
Maybe in 2-3 hours.
Also uploaded in the Google Drive, sir.
Sorry?
Recordings also uploaded, sir.
Yes, notes, PPT, and recording will be uploaded in the Google Drive. Look at the Google Drive, you will get it. Okay.
Sir, I don't have that link, sir. Google Drive link.
Okay. Likita, you send an email.
Okay.
Take a note of this email address, support at. Take a note of this email address. Anyways, I'm sending this email address in the chat box also. Okay, you have get it. Probably you may be, we have already sent you, maybe it may be in the spam. Please check it. Okay,
large.
this is the email address. Okay. So our team will respond to you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all, and see you tomorrow where we'll experience the artifact building. Very interesting. Thank you very much. Bye everybody.